This is my petition to start dressing like it's 2014 again. Welcome back. This week we're gonna be turning back to what I think was the most iconic year of the 2010s, 2014. Music was good, fashion was even better. If I had a time machine, I would definitely go back to this year. So, 10 years ago, we didn't cycle through trends as fast as we're doing it right now. Trends took a little bit of time to simmer in. Some of the things that I'm gonna talk about kind of started in 2011, 2012, 2013, but it didn't peak until 2014. I was 13 at the time, so I wasn't participating in most of the trends. But the vibes were there. Back in the day when we didn't have TikTok, we had this app called Tumblr. Just like TikTok, this app had different niches and different subcultures. The one that I'm gonna talk about in this video is specifically the soft grunge aesthetic. A lot of these looks were inspired by the 90s grunge aesthetic and the 2007 emo movement. I'm gonna be touching more on the pop culture side of 2014 in the last portion of the video. Right now, I wanna focus more on the fashion because it was just too iconic. Starting off with the most important brands, Urban Outfitters, American Apparel, and Brandy Melville kind of got its rise in 2014. I do want to say this brand in specific got way more popular during 2016 and 2017, but it was still very influential. So starting off with the first fashion trend, this one was the most in everyone's closet. High-waisted skinny jeans, specifically black. This was for sure inspired by a lot of rock bands back in the last century. When I was doing my research, I felt very heavily influenced to start wearing them again. But they were very uncomfortable. I guess I would just have to train my mind again to wearing a very, very tight pair of jeans. Black skinny jeans paired up with Doc Martens, a jean jacket, or a leather jacket. Peak 2014. Next thing that was very popular at the time were high-waisted shorts. It was the rise of high-waisted everything. I have to admit, I'm not a big fan of high-waisted things anymore. I think they're very uncomfy, and I think low-waist flatters my body so much more. So I do try to avoid it now. But back in the day, I remember I couldn't even find anything low-waisted in stores. Unless you were thrifting, which thrifting wasn't even very popular at the time, you didn't find anything that wasn't high-waisted. With high-waisted coming into trend, crop tops became very popular as well. Specifically, striped crop tops. We were wearing a lot of stripes, sweaters, t-shirts. I don't think crop tops are as popular anymore. I think the ones that we're not wearing are the very, very cropped tops, because there are different lengths to it. I'm kind of wearing one right now. I think this counts as a crop top. Some that were very popular were the ones that were up till here. Those are the ones that I'm not that into. The next thing we were wearing were band t-shirts. Army Monkeys, The Neighborhood, anything we were listening to, that's what we were wearing. Merch. Those were the vibes at the time. Kourtney Kendall Jenner. The next trend were skater skirts. We had a lot of different patterns. Black and white, flannel skater skirts, grid patterns, holograms. There was a lot of variety when it came to skater skirts designs. The next trend were denim jackets and the all black and denim jacket look. I have to say I'm not a big fan of denim jackets. I don't think they look good on me, but everyone was wearing them at the time. This is my petition to start dressing like it's 2014 again. I'm putting it out into the universe. I think the generation that is gonna bring back 2014 and skinny jeans is gonna be the ones who weren't old enough to wear this at the time. Younger Gen Z and older Gen Alpha, they're bringing skinny jeans back. And I think it's gonna happen at the end of the decade, or maybe during the early 30s. I'm gonna be 30 and wearing skinny jeans. That's absolutely gonna happen. The next thing that was very popular were fishnets, specifically fishnets under denim. I think they look so cool. Very 2014. Very nostalgic as well. I miss this. I do have to say I think 2014 is one of those situations where I'm kind of, I miss it, but it wasn't as good as I remember it being. But peak teenage angst. I just remember feeling everything very heavily. I miss being a teenager sometimes. The next thing that was very popular at the time was grid pattern. We used to put it everywhere. Shirts, pants, on edits. I remember people's lock screens being grid pattern. We loved it back in the day. It was very iconic, but it looks very dated now. I can't imagine anyone wearing this right now. The next thing that I'm gonna talk about, I specifically remember this being in 2014, but I could be wrong. It could have been 2015. Because the vibe started in 2014, brands kind of started catching up to that until 2015. Most brands. So a lot of them came up with designs that were very 2014-ish in 2015. So I'm not sure when this happened. The alien shirt. Oh my god. That was so iconic. We were obsessed with aliens back then. And I'm surprised people don't remember. I saw a lot of people saying how The ribbon thing is kind of like the mustache thing that we did back in 2012, but we had the alien as well. That also happened, and people don't remember this. I do wonder if anyone got an alien tattoo during these years. Don't get a ribbon tattoo. You're gonna regret it. Another trend from these years were oversized grandpa sweaters or cardigans. It also contrasts the very skinny, tight clothing we were wearing. We will wear that as a base, and then we will be wearing oversized clothing on top of that. We're still doing this. I still wear oversized clothing all the time. The next thing we were wearing, or most people were wearing, I wasn't wearing this because I was 13, ripped black tights. Such a Tumblr 2014 look. I think the Tumblr girl inside of us never dies, because whenever I'm wearing black tights and they rip, I have to take a picture. The next thing we were wearing were knee socks. I love them. I still wear them. I was wearing knee socks all the time because I was in Catholic school, but they were white socks, white knee socks. I love them. I still wear them. Now I wear them with loafers, which is the shoe that has been trending for the past couple of years. Now we're gonna talk about shoes. Some shoes that were very popular were creepers. I personally didn't know the name of these shoes. I used to see them everywhere, but I didn't really know about them until I did my research for this video. I didn't have them. Dr. Martens, I've been trying to get my hands on some of this for so many years and I still haven't. They're in my wish list. I'll get them one day. But they're very iconic, very 2014. And Vans and Converse. Basically, any shoe that was black, I guess, which is very different from what we did in 2016 and 2017. I do think we completely shifted from what we were doing during the early 10s. 2016 and 2017 was all about Adidas, Trasher, very heavy makeup, lip fillers, Snapchat filters. Some people say 2016 was the most iconic year of the 2010s. I disagree. I think 2014 was the most iconic. Okay, now we're gonna be talking about hairstyles. Silver, blue, and pink hair were very popular at the time, but it wasn't the very fantasy pink hair that we saw in 2017. It was more silverized. Is that even a word? That's what everyone was doing, and it looked pretty cool, I'm not gonna lie. Some hairstyles that were very popular were space buns, and another one that was also everywhere, having your hair half down and then a little bun in here. Kendall Jenner used to do it all the time. While doing these videos, I've kind of realized Kendall Jenner is my ultimate fashion inspo. I've been literally following everything she does for the last 10 years. The next thing we were wearing was chokers. They were also very popular. I do think they stopped being as relevant in 2016, but their ultimate hype was 2015. I used to wear them all the time as well. I forgot to talk about flannels when I was talking about clothes. I used to have a red flannel, which now that I think about it, it didn't look very 2014. It was giving lumberjack, but I don't know, I felt very soft grunge hipster wearing it. Everyone in pop culture was using flannels. A lot of people say flannels are timeless. I don't know, I can't see them as anything other than 2014. But that may be generational. I think it might just be my generation that we can't look at them as anything other than that era. Second to last accessory that was very popular were hats. I think it's very interesting how these hats kind of fit both aesthetics that were going on in this year. This year was very much soft grunge and 2014 Coachella boho vibes. I was doing both at the time. This is when Coachella became very mainstream. Everyone started paying a lot of attention to what people were wearing in Coachella, which I think influenced fashion in the late 2010s. These hats were worn by both subcultures, which I think is very interesting. And the last accessory were flower crowns. They started brewing since the very early 2010s. Tabby Gavinson, she is one of the first young bloggers the internet ever had, talked about them in her blog, The Style Rookie, in 2011. People kind of started catching up to it and wearing them at Coachella. Again, it's one of those situations where I think it fits both aesthetics. The flower crowns everyone was wearing were from the brand called Gaia. I had a flower crown, but I guess it was a dupe. They symbolize connection to the earth, which is why they were wearing them to Coachella. So interesting. I love Coachella fashion in the early 10s, so much better than what people did after and what people are doing now. Ugh. Now we're gonna move on to pop culture and the music that was very influential during this year. Arctic Monkeys, The Neighborhood, The 1975, Marina and the Diamonds, Lorde, The XX, Halsey, 21 Pilots, Arctic Monkeys, of course, started way before this time, but that's when they became very mainstream. The album AM remains the most popular they have. I love all of their discography, but I do think it's the most popular for a reason. It's very good. The Neighborhood and Lana, those were their first albums, so I think they were just very lucky that this subculture was kind of brewing. They became very popular, both of them, even though The Neighborhood kind of doesn't exist anymore, which is really sad. They were also very committed to their aesthetic. I remember that they didn't let anyone post a picture or a video of them if it wasn't in black and white. And for the longest time, I couldn't find a picture of Jesse Rutherford that wasn't in black and white. They were very committed to that aesthetic, which I respect a lot. Some TV shows that were also very popular were Skins and American Horror Story. I didn't watch any of them. I watched Skins when I was 19. And because Tumblr was a photo app, we had different things. Well, I didn't have any of these things. People had different things that they liked to photograph and post in there. Some of these things were Polaroids, coffee, box water, buzz water, black water, succulents, round sunglasses, and vinyls. Vinyls were all the hype back in the day. Messy hair was very popular. You had to look like you didn't brush your hair. It was good for lazy people. I was not brushing my hair at the time. And smudge makeup. Very much an indies list situation. You know how now people are kind of trying to bring this back? Now we're calling it indies list. This is very indies list. Back in the day, we didn't have as many makeup products and skincare products as we have now. They weren't as efficient. Take this with a grain of salt because I'm not a beauty guru, but I don't remember liquid blush existing. So makeup used to look very cakey, very smudged. It was just a mess. Everything was a mess. And it was so much fun. I miss it from time to time. But yeah, I think that's where I'm gonna end this video. I do want to say a small disclosure in here. This video is just 2014 fashion. I'm not glamorizing anything. I'm also not touching on any triggering subjects because I want to keep the video very light. My channel is all about fashion, so that's what I wanted to talk about. I personally still use Tumblr, but I'm just focused on fashion. That's where I go to get inspired, I guess. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you have a great week, and yeah, I love you so much.